You need to dream bigger and you need to believe it's possible. Your life is 100% up to you.
I hate the word budget. It's limiting. I hate being limited. I want to create wealth. Welcome back to the Jared Briggs Show. Today we're going to talk about the American dream. This is a topic we haven't talked about for a while. I feel like this used to be a big topic that I would hear. Maybe it was just because I was a kid, or maybe it was just that generation. But this is something that would come up often, is the American dream, the American dream, the American dream. What is the American dream, and is it still alive? Let's talk about it and let's dive right in. The American dream, in the statistical way, or what it used to be talked about all the time, is the dream for the American people to buy and own their own house. Home ownership seems like it's not something that is like way crazy common now. I think renting is way more common in today's world with the amount of times people move and go about and change careers and jobs and flexibility and all that. And so maybe that's why it's not as much of a topic, or maybe it's because maybe the cost of living is so much higher and people don't believe the American dream is possible anymore. So I really want to know from your guys' thoughts and opinions, do you believe the American dream is still something that is alive and well? I believe, from my perspective, that the American dream is still 100% alive. I believe there is no better time or opportunity to achieve the American dream from the perspective of owning our own home. I just think the American dream has progressed in a way of like, is the true dream to own our own home, or is it to maybe start our own business, have financial freedom, be able to travel? Maybe you don't have a 9-to-5 or 8-to-5, you own your own company, or maybe you're a freelancer or whatever it is, right? So I think in today's world, especially my generation and the younger generation, the American dream for them is different. I know for myself, I don't really look at from a perspective of like, go get a job, get benefits, buy a home, do that for 40, 50 years, retire, live off that, and then carry on. Like I focus on things a little bit differently. But I want to share some interesting perspectives of where I think the American dream has been maybe dismantled a little bit and where the struggle is. And it comes from a conversation that I actually had today and a problem that I see. There's a whole topic right now with the government being shut down practically the whole month of October. I mean, it's been a month now that the government has been shut down. Food stamps, government pay, Medicaid, all of these different programs, a lot of these things have been halted. I know there's a lot of people, they aren't getting payments. They haven't gotten pay for a month now. Food stamps, 42 million people on food stamps. There's a lot of people complaining about that. Well, I had a conversation with a gentleman. He is 79 years old. And we were talking today, and he was talking about how, he's paid into Medicare his whole life. And now he's his Medicare costs are going up every single year, his medical cost. So there's Medicare, that is health insurance for people that are 65 and older. And he's complaining that it's gone up so much and he has to pay so much. And what's the point of it? He's like, I paid into that my whole life. And I just had this real conversation with him from the perspective of, how I see it. And I shared with him, I was like, well, this is the interesting thing. Medicare Part A, you don't pay anything for. And if you were to have to pay for that part of Medicare on your own right now, it is over $500 a month. But because you paid so much into Medicare, you don't pay anything for it. You get that coverage for free. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. So I did the math, and it was like, just in premium since the time he's been on Medicare, $84,000 plus just in premium that he hasn't had to pay because he did pay through taxes. Then I brought up the conversation. I'm like, that's not even including all of your medical coverages that Medicare has paid towards all of your things. If you went and had a doctor visit or surgery or prescriptions or anything, there's a lot of things that Medicare is also paying towards those things. So that's just premium that we're talking about. And I said, I can see from your perspective that it's frustrating that your Social Security is the only thing that you live on and it's tight. Medicare keeps going up. The cost of insurance keeps going up. The cost of medical keeps going up. I get it. I'm 100% on your side. But I said, here's the frustrating thing is when Social Security was written into rule, it was for the purpose of insurance. So medical costs in retirement years to pay for Medicare, copays, deductibles, prescriptions, all those different things. And so where people haven't done a good job planning for retirement, they have nothing other than Social Security. Look at the pressure that puts on Social Security. Look at the pressure that puts on Medicare. Look at that pressure that it puts on our taxes. Looks at the pressure it puts on our government, and look at the pressure it puts on the American people. And then you also include in there doctors, hospitals, the insurance companies, all these different things. Everybody's getting pinched. The client is getting pinched for money. The doctors, the hospitals, the insurance companies, Medicare, taxes, Social Security, everything is getting pinched. Social Security was never created for the purpose of retirement. It was created for the purpose of insurance. And so you see the problem here, and he sat back and he's like, oh, wow, I've never thought of it that way. And that's why I've started sharing those things. The reason why I share that is because let's think of the American dream. The cost of housing has gone up. Taxes have gone up. Gas, groceries, everything, utilities, everything that we buy on a daily basis. You know, you go to the gas station, you can't walk out of there. I mean, just a drink and a candy bar is over $5. You know, the gas pump, how much we're spending, groceries, everything has gone up so much that everybody is being pinched in every direction. It doesn't matter where. And somehow that's the government's fault. Now, I get it from a perspective of how the government has ran things. I get it from the perspective of how inflation has been. I get it from the perspective of the Federal Reserve. I get it from the perspective of our financial banking system and the 401k companies and mutual companies and all these different things. There's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of corruption. There's been a lot of money given away. But let's talk about food stamps. 42 million people receiving food stamps every single month. That's a problem. How many thousands and millions of people on Medicaid? That's a problem. Do you see what I'm getting at here? I hope you guys do, because the American dream is still very alive and very well. There is so much opportunity in America. I mean, every flippin' company is hiring. Every company is hiring. Every company is begging for somebody good to come in and work for their company. We are advancing faster than we ever have in the history of the world with AI, technology, advancements, trade, all the different negotiations with all these other countries and everything that's going on. If you truly step back and look around, things are actually really good. But the news, the media, social media, everybody's done a really good job at painting the picture that we are actually in a recession. Now, I want to paint a picture for you from a perspective that I have recently seen in the last week. Donald Trump, the president currently, announced that we will now import beef into the United States from Argentina. We have a massive beef shortage in the United States of America. This beef shortage has driven prices higher than I've ever seen in my lifetime and higher in the history of ever. Actually, it's the highest it's ever been by a lot. That's why a package of ground beef in the store is $7. Well, Trump announced that we'd be importing this beef. Well, from the things that I've looked at, we are not going to import cows or calves or steers or heifers or any of those. We are literally importing beef. It has already been processed, and it's going to go right into our stores or fast food chains or wherever that beef is going. That does not fix our supply demand and issue that we are dealing with right now. The United States has a massive shortage of cattle. And I'm talking cow-calf operations, cattle that go out and raise a baby calf every single year. There's a massive shortage because those cows have a calf every year. Those calves go into the feedlots, they get fattened, they get butchered, and that's where our beef comes from. Okay, so we're shipping beef that's already been processed. So it's not cow, calf, heifers, none of that. It's already processed beef that we can use. So we did not fix our supply issue at all. Zero. There is no supply chain fix at all. But when Trump announced this, futures of cattle dropped. So the future cost, what they think it's going to be, those dropped. And when those drop, it causes prices everywhere to drop. Well, just happens to be my family decided we were following the rules that we needed to follow, and we shipped our calves. I hauled them this week to the auction, and we got a lower price than we would have a week or two before. Quite a bit lower, which is kind of frustrating, right? But we still did very well. I mean, I'm still like, damn, we should not complain because we made a lot of money per animal, but it could have been even better. This is what's frustrating. Nothing changed. All that happened was the president announced we were going to now import more cattle into the United States of America from Argentina to solve the supply and demand issue of beef. But it did not increase our numbers. We did not put more cows in the fields. It did not put more cattle in the feedlots. It did not do any of those problems. But yet prices still dropped. This is the frustrating thing. Everybody is so flippin' caught up in what the government is doing, what is going on in the economy. They can literally say, we are in a recession. We've been hearing that for how many flippin' years now, that we are in a recession. What are we in a recession about? What has changed? Honestly, what has changed other than the minds of people? We literally get on the news. We literally get on social media. And when somebody says something, we're like, oh, it's all falling to crap. Cattle prices are dropping. We're going to import all this beef from Argentina. All of our prices are dropping. Yet we didn't solve a flippin' problem at all. Nothing has changed. Interest rates for homes, cars, any of those. The news can literally say, oh, the real estate market's going to start dropping. We're going to go into a housing crisis. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. We still have a shortage of housing, or we have an oversupply of housing, or we're still building, but yet people sit back and they're like, oh, we're in a recession. So we can't go buy a house. Let's see what the market does. Let's see what the president says next. Oh, I can't buy gas because gas is now $3.40 a gallon. Oh, groceries are too expensive. Oh, taxes were raised. My income hasn't increased with inflation. We literally sit around and we wait for the government to tell us what to do. That is what is happening. You see, nothing changed with the American dream. Freedom, the right to bear arms, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Nothing has changed. We still have the Constitution. We still have the Bill of Rights. We still have freedom. We still have the ability to do whatever in the hell it is that we want to do every single day. But yet, we've got 42 million people sitting around doing nothing, waiting for the government to give them their groceries for that month. We've got millions of people sitting around waiting for the government to pay for their insurance. We've got millions of people, 11,000 people every single day turning 65 right now. And statistically, 67% of them don't even have enough money to retire. But somehow, it's the government's fault. Somehow, it's Social Security's fault. Somehow, it's Medicare's fault. Somehow, it's SNAP, food stamp, whatever all these programs are. Somehow, it's their fault. You see, the American dream never died. Never. We've just gotten soft. We've gotten soft, and we've gotten ourselves to the point that we sit around and we let them tell us what we can do. The reason why at the end of the podcast, the end of my videos, I say be the master is because I'm trying to wake up the freaking savage that lives inside of you. The reason why that you're depressed, the reason why you have no ambition or motivation or nothing is because you ain't freaking living. You're sitting around waiting for everybody to do something for you. And it's everybody else's fault. Everyone else's fault. Guess what? I will vote 100% of the time for whoever is going to stand up for the rights, the freedoms, and the abilities for America and what America was established with. You see, the reason why the American dream was such a big thing 100 years ago is because the government never told them what they could and couldn't do. People said, oh my gosh, if I go out and I work and I learn and I educate myself, I can make as much money as I want to make. I can own the home that I want to own. I can drive the vehicle that I want to drive. I can go on the vacations that I want to go on. So you're telling me that if I do my part and I take 100% responsibility for myself, that I can go do whatever it is that I want to do? Yeah, that is the American dream. But we've created a culture and a society that's just like, oh, if I sit around, the government will pay my bills. If I sit around, somebody will help me. If I sit around, I'll get food stamps. I seen a video, a lady gets $2,800 a month in food stamps. Who the freak eats that much food? I asked my wife, she's the one that always does the Walmart pickup. And I'm like, how much is it? She's like, on a big week, because we get it weekly, it might be $150, $180, but pretty common, we're like 70 to 120. And I'm like, so maybe 500 to 700 a month in groceries? She's like, oh yeah. Like that's a pretty big month. $2,800 of our tax money is going to somebody that isn't willing to go work for themselves, that isn't willing to go put in the blood, sweat, and tears, that isn't willing to do what our ancestors did to build the freaking country that we live in right now. Do you think food stamps was a thing 100 years ago? Not a chance. They got up and they went and worked. It didn't matter. They went and provided for themselves. The American dream is alive more than it's ever been alive in the history of the freaking world. Because most people are sitting around waiting for something to be done for them, waiting for a handout, and waiting for an opportunity to complain about everything. People will complain if the gallon of milk is full, and people will complain if the gallon of milk is spilled on the ground. That is the culture and society that has been created. Be the master. What I mean by this and why I am making this a declaration to myself, I literally say this to myself in the morning. Be the master. When I wake up and I don't want to work out, I don't want to read, I don't want to get going, there's some days I don't do the best. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. But when I do, I'm like, be the master. Am I going to sit here and just whine and complain about everything? Or am I going to be the master of my life? Am I going to go make something happen? Because I'm at a point in my business right now that is really freaking frustrating. And I'm about tapped out, if you want to know the truth. All this freaking governmental crap and Medicare stuff and Social Security stuff and blah, blah, blah. Man, I'm freaking sick and tired of it. But I'm like, okay, I can tap out or I can be the master. and I can step up and I can be better and I can help more people. Or I can just go sit on the sidelines, kick the dog, and whine and complain like everybody else. Be the master of your life. Take control of your life. Nobody is telling you that you can't. That is only you. And if you feel like people are telling you, it's because of the garbage that you listen to every single day. The news, the garbage on social media, I can't stand. All these people on social media that are like, well, all there is just junk on there. Guess what? You created your algorithm. If a video comes across your feed and you give it attention and watch it for even 20 seconds, the algorithm's like, oh, they like that. I'm going to show them more. And so then they show you more. And then you show more. And then they show you more. And if it's garbage, drama, news, whiny crybabies, victims, that's all you're going to get. So guess what? Everything you see on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of them is because of you. You are the one training your algorithm to show you what it is that you're interested in. It only shows you what you're interested in. So if you feel like you're being picked on, if you feel like, man, there's just nothing. The world's going to crap. Christ is coming tomorrow. Guess what? If Christ comes tomorrow, great. That is God's plan. But God does not want us sitting around complaining about every freaking thing that is going on. Do you really think God put you on this earth to play small? Honestly. Did God put you on this earth to play small? Did God put you on this earth to be poor? Did God put you on this earth to just get by? Did God put you on this earth to be a victim? Did God put you on this earth to be depressed? I had an interesting thought this morning. I was eating my breakfast. My wife gets this Greek yogurt. It has a lot of protein in it. I've been hitting it lately. It's been pretty good. And I put a little granola and honey in there. Well, my little boy come over. He's hungry in the morning. I get out a little spoon for him. I'd give him a little spoonful. I'd eat some. And he was loving it. And the weight of the world was in my mind. I was just like, okay, I got a crap load of stuff to do today. It's just whining and complaining all the time. How do I navigate all this? And I was sitting and I was looking at my little boy, nothing but smiles. Nothing but smiles. And I literally had the thought, I'm like, wow, this little man has been on the earth for just a little over a year, and he is happy. He is so excited in the morning. When I get home from work, he's super excited, comes running over to me and he's got to show me the random little thing that he found, who knows freaking where, that he's got in his hand, or he's got to give me a hug or whatever. He is happy. My daughter, she is happy morning and night, unless some stupid thing happens, right? But they are happy. And I literally had the thought while I was eating my breakfast, are we taught to have a bad day? Are bad days truly a real thing? Like, when God put us on this earth, was it programmed and created that we have good days and we have bad days? Like, was this literally a thing? Or have we been taught that we have bad days and we have good days? And I sat for a good 10, 15 minutes watching my little man eat the yogurt, smile with every bite, and point at something and just be super excited. And I thought, this little dude does not know what it is to have a bad day. His form of a bad day is he's way into my alarm clock right now, and he unplugs it from the wall and drags it all over the house all day long. His form of a bad day is when he's dragging it and he goes around the couch and it wedges between the couch and like the little pedestal thing. and it gets stuck and he's pulling and pulling and pulling and he's not tough enough to get it out or move the couch or whatever, he screams bloody murder. Like my wife and I will run over, like we think something's wrong and we get over there and it's just stuck. Like that is his bad day. So are we taught to have a bad day? You see, everything in our lives, we are programmed for. If you expect to win, or you're gonna win. If you expect to lose, you're gonna lose. I literally heard a lady the other day. You guys, I'm meeting with 10 plus Medicare people a day right now. And a lady that I was working with called this patient on the phone. And she's like, oh, how are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm not doing too good. And I'm not going to do too good for like 2 to 3 more weeks now. Because she just had like a surgery or sickness or something. And I literally was like, what the frick? Like, you really believe you're not going to be doing good for 2 to 3 weeks because that's what they told you? Are we programmed to not have a good day? Are we programmed to get sick? Are we programmed to get poor financially? Are we programmed to be everything that we are? I believe yes. You see, I shared the whole beef thing that just happened. Nothing changed. Yet prices dropped because everybody got in a little frizzy. I don't even know what the flip that means, but everybody started buzzing because on X and all these different places where Trump talked about this, holy crap, the cattle market, nothing changed. We still don't have near enough cattle, not even close, but we dropped. You see, we have allowed them, and I'm talking about media, I'm talking about the government, I'm talking about those high up in power that we have allowed to get there. We have allowed them to dictate every part of our lives. So to get back to the main topic, is the American dream dead? Nope. The American people are dead. We're still living and walking around. But look at the amount of people taking depression medications. Look at the amount of people going to talk with their psychiatrists and their therapists. Look at the amount of suicides, the depression, the bankruptcies, that over 60% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. We're literally walking around like zombies. Do you think America really become America because people were just sitting around? Like, do you think the railroads just built themselves? Do you think oil just spit itself out of the ground and turned into gasoline and diesel and all the other millions and millions and millions and millions of products that gasoline and oil makes? Do you think agriculture just happened? Do you think the cattle industry just happened? The shipping industry, technology, AI, computers, all these things that we have around. You think they just invented themselves and created themselves and it just happened? No. We've been industrial. We've been innovative. We've taken the dreams that God placed inside of us and you, and we did something with it. That is why I do not believe in materialistic. You know, if you have the dream to buy the brand new iPhone 17 Pro Plus, whatever the heck they are, and you're just like, man, I just want it because it has this, this, and this, that ain't materialistic. God gave Steve Jobs a brilliant mind to create a device that has changed the world. All I'm doing is I'm using that God-given talent to make my life easier and better. This ain't materialistic. Having a phone, it's a material item, but this was created by God, ladies and gentlemen. Everything was created by God. Everything. Now, it was maybe created by a man and a woman, but do you really think those things were from their own thoughts and ideas? I don't believe so. I believe everything has come from God. The goals, the dreams, everything you have inside of you, the passions and the desires, you have those for a reason. I 100% believe this. You have those things, for a reason. God is showing you a preview, an idea, a thought, an image, a vision of who it is that he meant you to be. The person that created the Ferrari car, that is not a materialistic item. That is a freaking piece of art. Have you ever been around a Ferrari? It is art. It is incredible. The attention to detail is phenomenal. You should go sit in a Ferrari. Maybe if you can find a place that'll let you. If not, go look at one. It is not a materialistic item. It is art. And God gave somebody a dream and a vision inside of their mind of creating a beautiful piece of art that we can drive around. Trucks, cars, vehicles, horse trailers, campers, houses, phones, headphones, AirPods, Beats. I mean, like, think of all these items. You know, like, what are those fancy purses women like that are like $1,000? That ain't material. That is a beautiful piece of art that somebody worked crazy amount of hours and time to create. They're beautiful. They're cool. That's not material. We are supporting each other. The American dream is not dead. We have freaking lost our way. We have lost our way. And until people wake up and realize that you are broke because you are broke. You are poor because you are poor. You are depressed because you are depressed. The government didn't do it to you. You are not broke because of the government. You're not unhealthy because of the government. They did not sit down, open your mouth, and shove the fork in there. You did that. You are the one that spends your money stupidly. You are the one that has not put in the work to increase your income. You are the one that has not done anything to increase your value to the marketplace. Homes cost more money. The American dream. So you're going to sit around and complain about it? Or are you going to do something about it? Be the master. That term means you are going to do something about it. You're going to stop blaming everybody else and start realizing, oh, I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's no one else's problem that I can't afford a vehicle. It's no one else's problem I can't afford my rent. It's no one else's problem that I can't afford the inflation and this and this and this. It's no one else's problem or fault other than your own. The American dream is alive and well. And until we flip our mind, until we change our mindset, until we get better, when we can understand that we have 100% responsibility for our own lives, this country will freaking thrive. I love the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. How about we change that to the richest Americans in the world? We have that capability. But blaming everybody else is never going to get that. We'll never accomplish that. We will freaking be taken over by other countries. We will lose our rights, our freedoms, our freedom of speech, our right to bear arms. We will lose all that crap. Be the master in your health, your fitness, your money, your management, your leadership. We need everybody to step up. Everybody. Because we're capable of so much more. I 100% believe in it, that we are capable of more. So the American dream is alive and well. I believe in it 100%. I believe the American dream today is easier to accomplish than it was 50 years ago. The American dream is easier to accomplish today than it was 50 years ago. So be the master and make it happen for yourself.